my shed.
That is a bloody lovely shed. I don't think I've seen it since it's been full of things.
Well, yeah, and it is very full of things at the minute. Hang on. I'm on my phone, so I'm just trying to work out my screen settings of being able to see any of you. I can't see myself.
Are you actually? Is that a picture of you, or have you frozen?
I can't see anyone.
I wonder if I've frozen.
It's great though. I'm going to take a picture so you can see what I'm looking at.
Let me. How annoying. Let me.
Oh yeah, now I can see you, Jane.
I'm reflected in all of this, which is a nightmare. It's like getting a double selfie. Good
See,
morning.
I'm just getting your logo, Emma. That's what I'm getting.
Oh, I
can you
better
see
turn
me?
my
Am I
camera
still
on.
frozen?
You what, Liv?
Am I still frozen?
No, you're working now. You're a real human being again. You're going to show us your shed in a bit.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll give you the little tour. I thought I'm going to set myself a little task for the hour to make something.
Amazing. What do you think? Are you open to ideas, or have you got something you want to make?
I've got something I want to make. I'm not open to ideas.
That's the tone of this.
Ideas, but I know what you're like, Emma. Then, and I'm not going to make you a plan chest in an hour.
What, even a tiny little one, like out of a matchbox or something? I know, I have given you about 2 and a bit years, I think, in order to make me plan chest.
Yeah, defo.
And I looked at the picture you sent me and I was like, handsome, as in, like, I think I probably need about 20 drawers.
Yeah.
You are going to have to start working on it fairly soon.
You might need to reinforce your floor.
I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. That's the other problem. Is like I might have to get a new container for it.
Excellent.
So we're recording. At some point, Tom Riordan might join us. So no swearing. That's about the only rule, I think.
Oh.
And
it's going to be a pretty hard task for me, that.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't be affected by him being here at all. He's a pussycat, and we can ask him anything we want to.
All right.
He doesn't know that yet, but. How mischievous can we be today, girls? This is all being recorded, actually. I better just shut up for a sec.
Edit.
I'm going to start letting people in. Good morning. How you doing? Good morning, Rachel.
Morning.
Rachel is Chief of Wonderment Galaxy Division.
I love it.
Beaming in from, I want to say Birmingham, but I'm not entirely sure if that's correct.
It's just outside Birmingham with a Black Country.
Now, where does it actually cover the Black Country?
It covers 6 towns: Sandwell, Dudley, Wolverhampton, Warsaw. Oh man, if anyone from the Black Country hears me struggling now, they would absolutely kill me.
We are recording. This is not a safe space.
And one other, which is the best of all. We're completely different from Birmingham, and we have our own accent. And like, there's, they're them and we're us.
Where's Bearwood? Is that
Bearwood?
there?
Yeah, Bearwood's kind of on the border, Birmingham and the Black Country, and it's just down the road from me.
So my mum was born in Bearwood, and this is my claim to fame, she used to live next door to Julie Walters. There you go.
That's a good claim to fame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Until she was about 6. So she thinks that Nicky, here's Nicky Bray coming in. She thinks that Julie Walters won't remember her. I think probably Julie Walters would, but.
Yeah, I reckon she would. That's
I reckon.
Fame.
So we're all women at the moment, and then poor Tom.
Come on.
Morning, Nicky.
Oh, hello. This is the first time I look at my face in a mirror and realise how wide my hair is. So I'll just hello everyone. How are you doing?
Very good.
Oh.
I just need to ask before anybody else joins us. Are you singing live, or are we going to go to your YouTube video?
Oh, I don't know. That hadn't been discussed yet. I would, well, if you're wanting to promote that video, I'd go for that because I might struggle to do that many hat changes live because there was editing involved. I don't know if you noticed.
I reckon you're good on TikTok. You look like you've got the kind of moves of. No,
I've heard of TikTok, but I'm aware of its work, but I haven't been involved myself.
I
So
think you'd be in your element on TikTok. I
about
mean, I've got no idea how it works. I've left it to other people to be experts at TikTok. But they do that thing, don't they, where they do like a little face thing and then they're in a different position again.
yeah, I think I'm about 3,000 years too old for it though, Emma. That's the only thing. Not mentally, but oh, maybe I should check it out. Yeah. Hi Penny, how you doing? Although you're on mute. Oh,
Hi.
I don't know. I don't think we've not seen each other's faces live, have we? Since
No.
the whole
There
yeah.
you are.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you are.
Hi. Oh, I haven't had a pot noodle this morning, so I'll behave myself.
You haven't had a pot noodle?
No, I had one at band practice once, and Penny had to scrape me off the wall.
What happens if you have a pot noodle?
I just
It's a bit crazy.
yeah.
I think it's all the additives. They sent her a bit around the loop.
So I don't think I need anything added. That's
The pot noodle frenzy. So how this kind of works roughly is we chat. That's kind of radio fun time. And we might ask some specific questions of people. We'll have in a minute, Tom Riordan is going to join us, who's CEO of Leeds City Council. So we'll ask him some questions and then he's got to go. So it's not like we're giving him priority billing or anything. It's just down to people's availability. And we might do the spinner wheel of doom, as I'm calling it, because the questions that were sort of mostly made up by George and my daughter, who can't be here with us this week. So they're kind of randomized questions, which are kind of fun, slightly, put you on the spot kind of questions, but everybody's treated equally kind of questions. They can be as random as your favorite biscuits through to, well, slightly more embarrassing questions, let's put it that way. And we've got a couple of people kind of tuning in today from location. So Claire, you might see Claire, and she's very distracting. So what I'm going to say now is you might be in the middle of chatting about something really important, and then I'll just have to stop you, a bit like a hooter going off, because Claire might have encountered something that we just have to stop and pay attention to.
Oh.
So Claire has been the my wing girl. We're wing girls together, aren't we, this week? And what I absolutely adore about being with Claire, who I think, librarians used to be called sensible, didn't they? Something like that. She puts paid to the idea that librarians are sensible, number one. There's nothing she won't do apart from go naked. So she won't be challenged to go naked, and she won't, what's the thing, run. She doesn't fancy running. So there's a bit of dignity involved in
So
this.
she's not quite Annika Rice then. There's a slight difference.
Yeah, so she's not going to run around with a bum pack, but she is more than prepared to roll down a hill and encounter a swan. And currently, morning Tom, we're just doing the sort of what goes on in this mad fun time hour. And you may notice that there's some action going on, Tom and everybody else here, with Claire. She's in Beeston this morning. She's been challenged, or she set herself a challenge, in fact. After she was roller skating on Sunday, there was a kind of challenge put to her in the chat, which was that she should roller skate down the middle aisle of Aldi. That's the next challenge. And it kind of sprung up from there then, actually, that she would find a kayak in the middle aisle of Aldi, because that's exactly the kind of thing you find there. And then Ed Carlisle, who Claire's now in Beeston meeting, chipped in and said he had a kayak, and therefore she didn't need to go down the middle aisle of Aldi. So what we're seeing are her feet. And today I think it's going to look like dry kayaking. We've also got Jane, who's live from her shed that she built herself.
Indeed.
Like proper skills there, look. This is the shed that Jane built with her own hands and tools. And she's got some real kayaks, haven't you?
Yeah, technically, Emma, I think you'll find they're canoes, but yes. So yeah, I have outside my shed, I could take you outside my shed are 2 boats, because why not? One of which I bought and one of which I made.
One you bought and one you made. So that's kind of 2 boats, Jane.
Yeah.
And so you've also said that you're going to make something during this hour.
I thought I'd set myself a little challenge while I'm in the shed, because I don't get as much shed time as I would like. So I have set myself a challenge. I'm going to go off on and off screen a second. It's going to be a bit Blue Peter. So starting with a lump of wood. This lump of wood was given to me by my next door neighbour, and it's a lump of beech, and it was about twice this size when it came. It's about 1.5 inches thick, and it's kind of quite difficult to do anything with a piece of wood this size. So, and it's hardwood, it's beech. So what I am going to do is I'm going to make from this lump of wood during this hour, so I'll have to keep putting myself on mute because you don't want to hear the tools in here. I'm going to make a little mini spatula.
Wow.
From
What,
this
from that
piece
big
of wood.
lump of wood?
Hopefully by 11 o'clock. Again.
Big piece of wood into a little spatula like that. That little delicate, elegant spatula.
Yeah.
And then who's going to get the
And
elegant spatula at the end of this?
Clearly you, Emma. You couldn't see that coming. If I complete the task, you will get this in the post, okay?
Amazing. Right, everybody, don't distract her. She's got work to do. So Tom Riordan, we've got Tom, and then we've also got so Nicky. Nicky's going to do some singing. Well, she's actually already created a song called Rapple Juice, which we'll come to after Tom's had his 5 minutes and then has to get off with doing real work. You can't stay the hour, can you, Tom?
No, I can't. I can stay for a bit longer than 10 minutes.
You deserve it. You deserve to have more fun in your life.
I do. Yeah, thank you. Can I just say, Jane is like the example. I'm not surprised at all that she can do all those things. She's amazing. And it just shows how it's a really good example, because in terms of woodwork, here's a good bit of gender sort of, you know, non-stereotyping from the 80s. I was so bad at woodwork that and I think I probably did something naughty as well. I think I misbehaved at some point. I've got to I'm coming clean.
This is being recorded and it's not a safe space. I'm just warning you. We're going to edit that bit.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, Emma. You know, with me, I never crossed the line. I just get close to it.
That's what I hear.
I was put into needlework instead, as it was then called in the 80s, because I was so bad at woodwork. And then later in life, I worked in a toy factory that made wooden toys, and I was so bad at making the toys because I'd always just drill through a little bit too far where the screw would come out the other side, which is not a good idea in toys if any of you have ever made them. I got put in the sort of system of hierarchy in a toy factory. The lowest of the low is sanding.
Yes.
And I was in sanding. I was put in sanding. Tom, go into sanding. And you basically go in and you sand all day and you come out looking like a ghost because you've got sawdust all over you. So that's my little story about why I ended up in the job I did, because I was so bad at actually making anything.
I love that. So you became chief executive of Yorkshire Forward and then Leeds City Council because you were crap at toys?
Yeah.
Woodwork.
Yeah.
Love it. I mean, actually, we do use the chat quite a lot in these Radio Fun Times. So I'm kind of intrigued by other people's job failures that led them to being where they are now. I'm just going to chip in with one of mine, which was I lived in Stratford upon Avon for a little while. And I tried to get a job painting those little figurines called country artists. And I considered myself to be an artist at this point. And they gave me an interview to colour in with precision 2 beavers. I was shaking so much in an interview that I just made the worst beavers you've ever seen. And they wouldn't employ me. And that felt like a real low point in my life, really. So I don't know if anybody else at some point will want to chip in with their job failures. I haven't introduced Rebecca as well, who's over in York. You can't really see her face. She's actually a chat. There we go. And Rebecca's a playmate over in York and runs all sorts of things and seems to have her finger in all the pies. So we'll get around to talking about the pies you're currently sticking your fingers in, if that's okay, Rebecca, or whatever it is you fancy talking about. So who wants to go on the spinner wheel of doom? I'm going to share my screen. I think, Tom, because you're not staying the full hour, it wasn't really an open question. It's you're going to, okay? So let's have a look. And this, just to give you a little, that is Nicky in the song that we're going to hear. We'll play it before you go. And these are George's questions. And when she rings me from Cornwall, she's like, has anybody answered my questions today? So you have to. Oh, this is a good one. Was it just my mum, or did you have an imaginary friend as a child? Or now, even? Don't worry, won't tell anyone.
Did I have an imaginary friend? No, I didn't actually. My son did. I better not say that. He's 18. He's 19 now. Got his age wrong. And he used to follow us around quite a lot in the last. In the sort of about 2010 time. But I did have a lot of teddy bears when I was growing up, and me and my brother sort of collected them, and they all had names. And we used to have to take them everywhere with us, much to my mum and dad's absolute, giving them a headache. And they had to be fitted into the suitcases. You can imagine that went down really well. So there was about 13 of them. The first one was called Yes, because one of our friends had a teddy called No. And he was my sort of, if I had anything close to an imaginary friend, it was Yes. I like to think that sort of shows my can-do mentality, Emma. Trying to do a bit of PR here, desperately. And that one of them was a snake. One of those. It's like a draft excluder for the door. It was like this long, sort of thick snake. Called Soapy, and my brother had golf clubs, so Soapy always had to go into the golf clubs when we went on holiday, because it was the only way we could get him in the luggage. So there you go. That's the nearest I came to imaginary friends, my teddy bears.
And do you still have them now?
No, I don't think I do, which is terrible. My wife, is a hoarder, and I throw everything out. So she's got all of her stuff from her childhood, and I've hardly got anything. In my, when you're doing a job and everything, you have all these massive files and everything. I've got a little box in my locker. And
you're like the opposite of a hoarder, then.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Whatever that is. What do you call that? A minimalist? Is that right?
Yeah, I am. And I've got a very tidy desk, but people tell me that that's just because I delegate everything and everyone else gets the hard work.
Yeah, I've heard that about you, Tom.
Yeah.
So do you want a really hard question from me or a really simple, gentle one? You can have either. Oh,
go on. You always ask me difficult. I'll have both. Come on, I'll do them quicker. I'll answer quicker.
Okay, so the hard one is, why don't we have swings in the city centre of Leeds?
That is a good question. It's probably to do with the cost of maintenance and the fact that we haven't got a space that's been specifically allocated for play. And I think that's a really good question, and I can't really give a good answer.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to take that away and ask someone else why.
Delegate, Tom. We've heard you're good at that. Delegate.
Yeah, thank you, Nicky. When I did my
action.
You know what, Emma? When I did my interview for the job originally, one of the things I said was, and I still don't really know why I got the job, because I said a lot of stuff that was a bit they didn't want to hear, I guess, at times. Was because I had young kids at that point. And I said, the trouble is, when you come into Leeds, there isn't enough places for young kids to go off and let off their energy, because you've been shopping and they need to just go off and run off steam somewhere. So we should have more places like that. So you've shown that the importance of failure again in my life. But what I would say in my defence is that there's lots and lots of changes happened over the last 10 years that makes better use of public space in the middle of Leeds. And we are developing the city centre park, which has got a vast developing, and it's going to be, one of the brilliant parks in Leeds that we've got. We just haven't had one in the city centre, or we're going to have one just south of the railway station. So always more to do, but yeah, that's my best answer, Emma.
That's a nice recovery. I like how you sort of got round to the park is happening. Obviously, my children will be 30 by the time that happens, so we need to move on it, don't we?
It's actually going on a bit sooner. To be fair, it's the first bit of that development that's going to happen.
Is it?
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're going to get your spade out and plant the thing for the first swings there, then I take it.
Yeah, I'll have had a health and safety assessment of whether I'm safe to do that. But yeah.
Well, actually, I think probably not getting you too close to making any elements of it. Maybe a bit of sanding.
I'd be good at sanding. I know my sanding.
Well, the easy question, I suppose, today is, what are you going to do to play?
I play football still. So I'm 53 now. I know you can't believe that. Lots of people.
Baby-faced assassin is what I call you.
Thinking 63. I used to look young, actually, and I sort of, overnight almost, when I was doing this job, I went from looking quite young and being quite young to looking quite old and feeling quite old. And I play football to play, and I still play on a Monday evening, nearly 11 aside, with a lot of quite good footballers, much better than me. And I said it was my birthday the other day, and someone said, "How old are you?" 68. So I'll play the 17, 18-year-olds there, and yeah, so it's that's my thing. My kids love, and my family love games, maybe a lot more than I do, which is really bad. I'm going to look really bad again here. This is terrible. And so
dominoes. Get round to dominoes quickly, and then you can redeem it.
Dominoes, thank you. Yeah, I know I play dominoes, but that's not play. That's proper sport. That's like strategic sport. I play dominoes as well with my friends, and we play properly in a league, and we play on a Thursday night. So I am a human being, and I make sure that Monday and Thursday nights I always have good excuses not to do dinners and not to do long meetings in council-y stuff, because I like to keep my mental health good by playing football and playing dominoes with my friends.
Even though it's obviously to win, I can see that competitive edge there.
I missed a really good chance to draw the game on Monday night, and I still can't get it out of my head.
I could keep putting you on the spot, and it would be my absolute pleasure to, but perhaps it's not fair. Maybe other people have some questions for you, Tom, before you dash off and do a full day of being a council leader, whatever that involves. So Claire's panting. I think, is that you, Claire, panting?
Can I just say, as a metaphor for how my organisation's staff probably see me, the sight of me sat in the office, just talking, with Jane using her lathe to make something just beneath me on the Zoom call as it is on mine, is like the perfect metaphor for everyone who's out there collecting the bins, cleaning the streets, doing the social care, filling in the potholes. So yeah, I just make that point in case anybody else was going to.
We're not that heavy-handed here, but
Thanks.
I'll send you a spatula, Tom.
I mean, to be fair, I think I remember before you came into role, I was like, "Oi, I want to meet you," and really never been scared of having a chat with you. And remember meeting you at the Childhood Cafe, beautiful place if you haven't been to Leeds, and saying, "Look, we need to do something about that Millennium Square. It's really boring." And to your credit, I think although we haven't really resolved that particular issue in Leeds, I am being very cheeky this morning. I think you're just so game for anything, and that's what I've always found really refreshing, to be honest. That you turn up for something like this called Radio Fun Time, and you are open and accessible, and I think that's pretty important, really. So I am going to give you a pat on the head for that.
Thank you, Emma. I needed that this morning.
No, so I think you're very available on Twitter and things, aren't you? Probably to your detriment at midnight, but I'm not saying get into your direct messages or anything, but you do sort of spend quite a lot of time listening to what people say, and people can bring their concerns and interests to you directly, can't they?
Yeah, no, definitely. Always happy to. I read all my own emails and answer them all. I've always run all my social media myself. No one else does it for me. And I think it's a really important part of, in this day and age of being accountable and accessible. There are times when it gets a bit, I think it has got worse over the last few years, particularly the last year, people getting too vitriolic at times, but I'd rather it was with me than with my staff. So, it's part of the job really. I think it's, Leeds is the sort of city where the way I describe it is usually in Leeds, because it's like this big city, it's got 800,000 people, it's got a really wide geography, it's got every shape and size and colour and creed of people, which is brilliant. Usually when we do something in Leeds, half the city says, that is brilliant, that's really the right thing to do. And the other half says, why have you done that? That is the wrong thing to do. So you've got to be used to people disagreeing with you in my job, because you just, you try and do the right thing and you don't always get it right, but you try and get it right as much as you can.
Yeah, and I think you've done a great job through this last year. So all credit to all the staff. I think they've been amazing, really. And you mentioned the refuse workers. Honestly, they've just been incredible. Yeah. And, I do think we need to take time. I know to talk about frontline workers kind of sort of doesn't always give credit where it's due, but I think, public service has been absolutely incredible this last year under really difficult situations. So you're doing good. You're doing good. So do you want to hear Nicky's amazing song called Raffle Juice? It's before you go, because if you don't, you're going to miss a treat. So I'm going to share screen again. And every time this doesn't mess up, I feel like a small victory has... this is our website, which we created very quickly with a wonderful guy called Justin. And here's Nicky. Are you ready for your...
Emma, I was just going to say, unfortunately, I've got that other Zoom at 10:30, so I'm going to have to nick off. So, yeah.
Let's talk about this then.
Well, it's up to you. I mean, unless you want me to come back tomorrow when I don't have another Zoom.
We want you to come back every day. So how about we have a quick chat and then put your music on?
And I'm quite happy not having to watch myself perform this song. So I'm not going to be...
Once you've gone at 10:30, we'll have the actual song then. So Nicky, tell us a little bit about what you do, because Penny's been raving about you forever.
Oh, she's ace. Well,
and then you created this thing, and I was like, that's like having a bloody amazing birthday present. It was my birthday recently as well.
Oh, happy birthday recently.
And it's Tom's and anybody else's birthday. Stick it in the chat and we'll all have a big birthday hug. But tell us, you made this happen. It's the most hilarious side-splitting song.
Oh, well, thank you, Emma. Well, I can't take credit for it really, because I co-run this night for songwriters, which is called Tower of Song. And the idea is that every month we have to write a song on a given theme and a given musical style. And actually, we, like Tom, we're very good at delegating. So what we do during the night, we pass out little slips of paper and the audience writes down suggestions. Then we staple them into the booklet of democracy, which then goes round the room again and everybody ticks if they like the ideas. And then we end up with the kind of musical challenge for the next month. So this was May 2019, and the suggestions were superstitions and rap. So that's, I like to take the themes and come up with some kind of slightly weird idea about them. So this was kind of about this. I don't know if it is a superstition about the idea that when you swallow an apple seed, it grows into a tree. What would you call that? It's probably not a superstition. It's probably a
fact.
a fact. Yeah, it is. Well, I'm going to dispute that very soon, but yeah, it's so yeah. So really, it was the lovely drunken audience at Tower of Song who provided the seed, shall we say? That
Oh, you're so good at this.
I do too much of it, Emma. That's the thing.
Where
But
can
yeah.
we find you? Where? I mean, I know you're on Facebook and stuff, but
I'm
where is
here.
this tower?
I'm here.
We come and get you. Where is Tower of Song when you're not in COVID?
Well, so normally it's the first Thursday of the month at the lovely Fox and Newt pub, which is opposite Leeds City College. So we're in the upstairs room there, and it's a microbrewery, so that's an added bonus. So normally we're there, but at the moment we are online. I guess the only social media presence we really have is on Facebook. So we're on facebook.com/ Do you like the way I'm miming a forward slash then?
What's your backward slash look like?
It's got to be the other hand, the west hand for forward slash and the east hand for. So / Tower Song Leeds, although we do also happen in Newcastle now as well. So we've
get you expanding all over the place,
taking over the world. We're getting into every orifice. That's what we like to. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, that's
you heard it here first. Well, we've got people from Birmingham and York here, so maybe you can expand into those territories as well. I couldn't bring myself to say it.
Thank you. Yeah, territory. So I don't know why I didn't select that word, but yeah.
I think there's something to do with apple seeds and orifices in this song, actually.
Yeah, you said orifices there. I can't be held responsible. So
it's earlier than the watershed. So I don't want to embarrass you by playing it, but I can't wait to show it because it's so funny. But
that's
what else we need to know about you. You've got 3 minutes.
I was going to say that question, the amazing question. Well done for the mini person who thought up that question on the wheel before. I was going to give my answer if that's all right, Emma, because it sparked off a childhood memory and it fits in with Tom. You mentioned snakes as well, so I don't know if they were friends because it was quite a short-lived friendship. But you remember those jelly snakes that you could get, the sweets. Really delicious, nutritious jelly
snakes. You still can get them.
Can you? Oh, maybe I should do that. I don't really need any more sugar though, I don't think. But as Penny knows about the pot noodle thing. So I would buy jelly snakes. I would name them all and put them in a little cardboard box, and then I'd eat them pretty much straight away. So that those were kind of my short-lived imaginary friends. So yeah.
Very short-lived.
Yeah. So
it's
eat your friends. That's all I'm saying.
They needed to be named before consumed.
Yeah. Oh, I think so. That was a nice touch. I think definitely. So
yeah. So they had a moment of intimacy with you before they were gobbled up.
Moment of intimacy. That's what I'm going to call my autobiography. Yeah, which is going to be mainly about the jelly snakes, but maybe a little bit about adult life as well.
Do you think you could make a song on those little kind of moment of intimacy? Sugar jelly sweets and Tom Riordan's sanding abilities?
Well, do you know, the thing about Tower of Song is we do allow ties, so we do occasionally end up with several themes. Like we had 1 month where it was Bond themes, Lollipop Ladies and Unlucky Animals, and me and my fella did a song called Kill or Be Roadkill, which was about kind of hedgehogs seeking their vengeance against cars that ran them over with the help of a kind of a psychotic lollipop lady. So I think I could write that song.
Okay, I'll task you to do that.
Lovely.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I've forgotten already what you said.
Sanding snakes and moments of intimacy. It doesn't sound good, does it?
It's pretty much going to write itself, that one, I think, Emma. So thank you for that. Yeah. Lovely.
I will make a little segue very quickly that Jane Earnshaw knows all about hedgehogs, don't you, Jane?
I do, yeah. I have hedgehogs living in my garden, and I built them a little hedgehog house, which is like a miniature version of this shed. And I'm a big fan of the old hog, and we've got to feed them, kids, because they're quite literally, sadly, moment of sadness coming up, they're quite literally starving to death. So yes, they are, because we're all paving over our gardens. It's not helping. So if you have a cat, hedgehogs love cat food. So leave them a bit out in your garden.
Excellent. And don't put AstroTurf down as well, I guess, then. Is that the same as paving?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
And don't feed them milk. Is that right as well, Jane? Because white people think you're meant to feed them milk, but that's not good for them.
Right.
Is it? That's
terrible. Water and meaty cat food or cat biscuits, and they'll love you for it.
And
stop
be
How
using
many have you
careful.
got now?
us. Well, we know we've got 2, one of which we call Big Barry, and Big Barry does make an appearance, and Big Barry is a bit of a WWF muscly guy, and I did watch him barge another hog off a step, which was quite brutal, but still gotta love Big Barry.
Hog barging. That's another
Hog
song.
Wars. Hog Wars.
Hog Wars.
Forget
Hog
Robot Wars,
Wars.
it's Hog Wars around here.
No, Nicky, I don't want you to go. Can we just stop you going to your next Zoom?
Oh, well, I don't want to let down a bunch of refugee and asylum seekers, Emma.
Oh.
So that's what you'll be doing if you keep me here. So I've made you feel bad now, haven't I?
You
So-
have. Thanks. Leave it on that note. Can you come back tomorrow?
Do you know what? I don't think I have anything on then. That would be wonderful if you'll have me back. But I'll let you decide that. Don't make an instant.
Yeah, we'll
decision,
put
but
some
yeah.
judgment in the comments and say if you can
Okay.
come back again. Thanks for
But-
joining
yeah.
us. Enjoy
Oh,
your
it's
next
been a
session.
pleasure. Oh, thank you. Take care all. Have a good rest of the session.
See you
Waving.
tomorrow. Right, now
Bye.
she's gone, let's watch her.
Hello, I'm Nicky Bray's Musical Menagerie, and I'm going to do a song for you today, which is for the Love to Play Festival. So check out, if you haven't already, lovetoplay.fun, all the events that are happening this week as part of a celebration of fun and being silly and not taking things quite as seriously as we usually have to. So I'm all in favour of that. This is my song Rapple Juice, and this is about what actually happens if you swallow an apple seed. So some people think maybe an apple tree grows inside you, but this is actually the truth. So get ready to do some learning. Have you heard about the girl who swallowed an apple seed and started to produce apple juice each time she peed? It was clear something weird was happening inside her. Her parents were aggrieved but relieved it wasn't cider. The doctors perplexed could detect nothing amiss, and they took so many samples they were just taking the... I'll let you guess that last word because this is a family-friendly version. Now most kids in her position would be feeling quite resentful, but she saw her condition as one that had potential. When she gave a glass to an unsuspecting neighbour, turned out that he savoured the flavour. What a game changer! Let me introduce a girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Spurred on by this discovery, utterly monumental, she started to explore and be more experimental. And after several hours of aerobic exercise, she found she had the powers to pass pure appetizer. So then she went full throttle and set herself the target to sell it by the bottle at Otley Farmers Market. The success was in excess of her wildest dreams, and soon people were queuing for a taste of her sweet, sweet streams. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Of this mystery elixir news soon travelled far, and by summer it was being sipped in every hipster bar by the posers drinking apple mimosas. And wait, what's that on the shelves in Waitrose? Now one morning she awoke and knew deep in her core that something had changed, rearranged. Her apple days were no more. It was time to leave her childish side behind. She was becoming a woman with a taste more refined. Every end brings a chance to start afresh, to strip away old peel, to reveal new flesh. And market dominance was still within reach, 'cause the juice she was producing now was elderflower and peach.
Oh my goodness.
Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. She's probably unique. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. 12 litres a week. Let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. If you call her a freak, let me introduce the girl who urinates apple juice. She'll just turn the other cheek.
How amazing is that? Where are we? Ah, I've lost you all. Am I here? There
You're
we
there,
go.
Emma. That was absolutely amazing.
She's such a genius.
Insane.
So Tom had to go. I don't think it was connected. He's got work to do. I think that will have earwormed him for the day. It's not the week. Very catchy. So, Claire, where are you?
Hello. Today, Emma, you can find me in wonderful Beeston, and I'm on Ed Carlisle Street, and he's kindly lent us a kayak. Look at that beauty, which I've had to pump up this morning. So I've now got new muscles that I didn't know I had, but good exercise.
Wow.
So I thought I'd step into it live action for you all. So
My
here we go.
goodness. And with
Hopefully I'm not going.
socks on. Have you taken your shoes off?
Yeah, I don't want to deflate. Oh, Ed's amazing kayak. Oh,
No, what a lovely way to sit in a street.
isn't it? Isn't it just? And look, I can paddle down the street and see lots of fantastic things as I go. I've already seen a cat in the river this morning, probably looking for fishes.
And so how does
Oh,
it feel
fish.
in that kayak? How's that making you feel?
It's very it's quite relaxing. I actually think I could sleep in this kayak, and
Looks nice.
I think I could have a go on water next time. Be brave enough to go on the actual water. And the lovely thing about this street is there's lots of people sat outside enjoying the sun. Neighbours are talking to each other. Ed's making coffee, I think, at the moment. Look, there he is.
Wow. Hi, Ed. Everybody say hello to Ed. Can you hear
Everyone's
us?
saying hello.
Hi, Ed.
He says hello back. And he was out playing with his kids as well. So they had bubbles and scooters and all sorts of things. So
That's just
it's
normal
lovely.
life for them, isn't it? It's not because you're on location and they're showing off.
No.
They're always playing
Well,
with bubbles and cardboard in Beeston, aren't they?
yeah.
It's known as the bubbles and cardboard centre of the universe, in fact.
Oh, I didn't know that, Emma.
You better
Good
ask Ed
facts.
about it because he's like the instigator of the Space Den competition. Maybe he can tell you a bit more about that.
Yes, 2 seconds, I'll get him over. Ed, can you talk us through the space competition that
Well, I
we've got
say
going
he
on?
was. I'm blaming Rebecca entirely for
Yes.
this, actually.
Right, yeah, good morning. So hopefully all of you, or many of you, have been building dens this week. So we've got this den building competition. You can make dens about, along any theme, castles, Viking longships, whatever. But if you make it space themed, then you're in with a chance of 3 £100 prizes. You then just need to submit as much content, photos, videos, etc. online as you can, and obviously use the Love to Play 2021 hashtag, and then you will be entered into a competition, and our den experts who know about all things dens and all things space will then pick out the best 3 and stick 100 quid in the post to you.
Amazing. And we've seen some early entrants, haven't we, which are a little bit scary in their competency, I think, as in their very high quality dens.
Very high quality dens and competent.
Yeah. So I mean, some of the dens I've seen very good. In particular, one just here in Beeston, here in South Leeds. One was, I'm not one of the judges, so don't try to talk to me about this. But I thought there was a particularly high quality space den, which was like inside and outside, magnificent. It had like computer screens, all manner of things. It was an amazing space contraption.
I was kind of surprised by the level of, the fact I felt it could take off that den, and that. I think it set a bit of a high bar, not to intimidate anybody. We won't share that picture because I think it might put people off because it could take off into space, I think.
Saying won't share that because it's intimidating for everyone else.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
Yes.
Inspiring, that's the word.
Get inspired by one another's dens.
Yes. So why is Beeston the capital of cardboard and bubbles?
Why is Beeston the capital of cardboard dens?
So years ago, me and some mates ran some big den building festivals at the Tetley, and we amassed literally tons upon tons of cardboard at that time. Cardboard is, I mean, you can make dens clearly out of a large number, a wide range of materials, but cardboard we found really good. And big boxes like bike boxes, the bike shops are very keen to get rid of, and they're just big, and so they make for nice big dens. And I was left with I don't know, probably 100 or more of these boxes from the last Den Festival, and we haven't done any since, and I was keen to get rid of them, so I got rid of them, and they went like hotcakes.
Amazing. Can't wait to see. We'll have to start nudging everybody into showing us how they're getting on. Now, the reason why we're doing this as well is because Rebecca, who sat there very innocently in York.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Suggested space dens, didn't you, Rebecca?
I did do that in like the one meeting I managed to get to.
The challenge, and we were like, yeah, fine, let's do it. So see, I think you're like Tom, you're really good at kind of putting a little seed out there. Oh, this is a good seed, apple seed. You put the seed of a space den in our heads. That's true genius, isn't it? You only have to sort of do a little thing and then look what happens. So how's it going in York at the moment?
It's nice and sunny.
And what are you plotting? Because you're always involved in it. I know you had a sort of dark, quiet winter where you hunkered down. Now spring is upon us. What's your year looking like? So for those who don't know, Rebecca's part of all sorts of things, including York Design Week and play circuses. She's just everywhere and anywhere. She's omnipresent.
I mainly talk about play circuses. Actually.
So what are you up to?
We are trying to work on lots of different projects. So we've got a couple of community-led housing projects at the moment that are going well and starting to actually turn into tangible things, which is really exciting. Lots
like
of
real houses,
like Gantt charts to build houses. Yeah.
Do you need someone who's got good woodworking skills to come and help?
Yeah, come on over, Jane.
Probably build a house in an afternoon.
Yes, do it.
Well, I grew up on a self-build scheme in the 70s. They were all.
Did you? Which one?
Oh, it was in Oswald Twistle in Lancashire. So my dad was a plumber, and it was quite a big estate, and it was built over several years, and kind of anybody who worked in the trades would pitch in and do stuff. So yeah, so I grew up in a house that my dad and loads of other people had helped build.
Amazing. How big was it?
Are they still there? Where are they? What are they called?
No, yeah, they'll still be there. I'm sure they. It was the street I lived on was called High Street. If you put in High Street, Oswald Twistle, which is a great word.
Oswald Twistle.
Oswald Twistle. Oswald doesn't the name. Twistle is Twistle. Twistle. Apparently it means land between two streams belonging to Oswald. But they weren't fancy. They were like the estate got the nickname of the Toblerone homes, and they were kind of white rendered, kind of not going to win any aesthetic prizes, but it was a self-build scheme kind of, and that took place. I think there were 3 different phases. It was quite a big estate. And that was, so I was born in 74 and we moved in 78, so it would have been late 70s. That was all a massive self-build scheme.
So the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree, really, has it, Jane?
No, not really. Cowboy builder dad who went, you don't want to buy that, you want to make it. Get out there, get it done, crack on.
So are you looking for the sort of similar types of people, or have you found them already in York, Rebecca?
What, to be part of the self-build project?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're open for expressions of interest on our website at the moment. So people can do that. But it's very much community led. Like, we're working with Leeds Community Homes as our sort of enabler. So we've got a really good team behind what we're doing. And it's just slowly though, isn't it? House building, development stuff takes a while.
Does it feel playful at all as a process?
It's really, like, I think once we get in there as well, and like people just playing to, like, our thing is like live, build, play. So the idea is that it's not just like there's a lot of learning that will go on and sharing, and we're looking at different ways of like alternative economies and stuff, how we can get it done without it costing arms and legs.
And so how do you see this sort of, I mean, it's amazing, by the way. So it goes without saying that I'm in awe of the fact that, you're looking at completely different ways of people being able to live in what's quite often perceived as a posh place, isn't it, York? And so a lot of people think, oh, it's swashing about with money. So tell us a little bit more about the context of where you're wanting to do this.
Yeah, so that is often the perception, but York's one of the most unequal cities in the UK. So we've got like this, like, just quite disparate two sort of parallel universes almost. You've got the people who have and the people that don't have much. And we're looking at ways to redistribute that wealth through different forms of exchange. That's why, but I feel like York's a really good test bed for stuff like this, because it's got the 2 like really good universities, and it's quite small, like, so you can have quite an impact in doing like little things and just trying stuff out, which is always great. And people are quite open-minded. Like, we're doing some work with my friend who works at the Centre for Applied Human Rights, and we were just talking yesterday about like York as a human rights city and housing as a human right, and where we can bridge all of that sort of stuff, as well as trying to completely turn upside down like how people expect development should be done.
So there's a deep sort of radical kind of way of reimagining, I think, in the work that you do. But you present it in, I think you've managed to do such a good job of presenting both things in a light-hearted, playful, encouraging, accessible way, as well as exploring some very, very deep-rooted social and spatial justice kind of stuff. So I'm always ever impressed with what's coming out of what you're machinating on with your people over there.
If you can make stuff fun and playful and accessible, then you're laughing, really, because it's not boring. Like think about transport survey that the City of York Council might put out. But then if we did some like workshopping around that, or like made some, I don't know, did some slime mold experiments, or like, I don't know, like anything, like think of things as being an opportunity to be creative and get imaginative and like work collaboratively. And I'm really into trying to work out ways to facilitate like non-extractive community engagement, because a lot of the time people just ask questions, or like give your time and your experiences and knowledge about a certain thing, but they don't get anything back. and like I've just got a real issue with that. So trying to figure out different ways of making stuff fun, at least to start with, because we don't have a massive resource, but at least if you start with making something fun, then people have a good time while you're figuring out stuff together. And
Totally. Hurrah. Hurrah. Make it fun. Because if there's a value in the process, you know, so you come along and you've given up a bit of your time for something, all your skills, all your knowledge, but you've had a bloody good time.
yeah,
That in itself is an exchange, isn't it?
exactly. And like if we can offer other things as well, amazing. Like yeah, it's just about new experiences, isn't it? And opening up like possibilities with different people, groups of people.
Well, high five from here in Leeds to you in York. Don't know how we do high five on there. There we go. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. And let's follow you on what's the best way to keep in contact. We can obviously stick it in the chat, but how would we find out more?
That's the best one, isn't it? I don't really do Instagram anymore, sort of quit it. But you can, York Design Week's got Instagram. Someone else does that. I
So
do.
look for York Design Week and Op House, is it?
And Op House is the tiny house project, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's also Yoko, which is doing loads of fun stuff too.
I mean, it all just sounds fun. So
That's so fun.
keep an eye out for Rebecca's stuff, and we'll keep sharing. Now, I'm aware that we've only got 8 minutes, which I can't believe it's gone so quickly. And there's a couple of people that I've not even said hello to, which is Malou and Alison. Hi, you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Don't want to put you on the spot, but just thought, well, you know, as our numbers have become more intimate, you know, did you want to say anything? Was there anything you wanted to chip in? Or now have I just really put you on the spot, either of you?
I'll just say a quick hello. I'm having a lovely time listening in.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad. You did you have an invisible friend? An imaginary friend even?
I did actually. I had an invisible imaginary pet mouse because I read a book when I was maybe like 6 or 7 that was about a pink-eyed white mouse. And I was just like forever obsessed with that color combo and could only really get it in my imagination. It came around with me.
Did it have a name?
Out. No, I don't think it did. I think I'm getting confused with a Cuddly Toys name that was a mouse, also a white one, no pink eyes though. And that was called Cheeser. But I don't think my imaginary mouse was called Cheeser. I can't remember.
And do you have mice now?
Sadly not.
No. Did you get out of that kind of, you know, you worked it out as a child, you didn't need to have a mouse as an adult?
Well, I mean, it could still be on the cards of the future, but as a young teen, I wanted 2 mice. One was going to be black, one was going to be white, and they were going to be salt and pepper. But again, never came to be, just stayed in the imagination. But yeah, could be in the future.
Could be, anytime. Maybe today will make you think about mice again.
I think it has already. Might investigate my options.
And so what brought you to today's Radio Funtime?
Just been seeing it pop up a couple of times. And I was here yesterday, but just sort of busy doing other things. So I was just listening in. But,
excellent. Yeah. We got robot jousting at 5 o'clock this afternoon, which is fun. You can just play from your computer, and they're like they're telepresence robots. So can you spread the word about that? Because I'd feel sad if people missed out. I'll send links around as well. That's just drop in and play with some jousting robots. They're not mice, sadly, but you know, you could pretend they're about the sort of height of a mouse.
Yeah,
really, they're not very high.
Similar proportions, maybe.
Yeah, and they sort of skedaddle around Ross's studio, so they're kind of at their sort of skirting boards level. So that's fun. But we'll have to get you on the show tomorrow as well, and then actually find out a bit more, because I feel like we're just getting to the point of understanding more about you. It's tantalising.
Intriguing.
And intriguing. And Claire and Jane. I think Jane, have you finished?
Yeah. I finished.
That looks like it's gonna stir the shit no end.
It's gonna stir beans. It's gonna get things out the toaster. It's gonna jab you in the eye. It's gonna get that thing from the back of the drawer that's jabbing.
Oh, could it scratch my back?
It can, well, you know, limited.
Yeah,
There we
get
go.
between the
What?
shoulder blades. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. You've got my address, haven't you?
Yeah. Yep.
I think I could do some really good pot stirring with that.
Yeah, it's a favourite for me. I just use it like a normal spatula.
Well, that's just very traditional of you. I'm going to use it to, if I'm allowed back out in public.
Some people on the internet have claimed it's a butter knife, but they're idiots. It's just it's just whatever you need it to be.
Why would you call that? I mean, I do like a lot of butter, as Penny saw recently in my garden. I do lather on the butter. That probably is about the right size for that kind of buttering, in fact. That's amazing. You did that. I think that's the one you made earlier.
It's not. Look, I started with the block, then I sliced it down to a little slice. Then you saw me planing the slice. Then I drew the shape on it. It's like blue pizza here. Then I drew the shape on it. Then I cut the shape out, and then I used this little plane. It's called the spoke shave.
What is it called?
It's very beautiful. It's called a spoke shave.
That is a very beautiful object.
It's a
Is
very
that
beautiful
brass?
little thing. It is bronze.
Bronze.
And then I used that to get all the little rough bits out and make it all beautiful and smooth. And then I put a bevel all the way around it.
What
And
do
you know
you
what the
do with the
great thing is?
bevel? Where's the bevel tool?
It's like a little, I use the same thing. Use the same little tool. And the great thing about using really, really sharp tools, this is a tip for Tom. Tom, if you're still tuning in from your big power meeting, you don't have to do any sanding at the end.
Oh,
No
I
sanding.
think he likes the sanding bit though.
I know, bless him.
We know what to get him for his next birthday at least, don't we?
Yeah. I'll make him one.
What's your favourite tool? Could you have a favourite tool?
It's a very, very good question. My favourite hand tool would be the chisel. Super
Okay.
duper versatile.
That looks like it could have your fingers off that one.
Oh God, yeah. I've bled on this already this morning. My
Oh, I
favourite
like that.
power tool. I know, I've just used a rubber to rub the blood off. Sorry. I know you're not a vegetarian. It's fine. And then my
Shut at
favourite
me.
power tool. My favourite power tool is behind me. I don't know whether you can see that. It's like the saw of death.
Oh my God,
That's
it's
a
so dangerous in your workshop. Okay,
Yeah, it
quickly
is. I
show
did-
us your boats.
Show the boats. Okay, all right, okay. Hang on. You're coming off the elastic band phone now. Quickly coming outside to see the boats. So quite bright out here.
Oh, it's beautiful. How idyllic.
Quite lovely, isn't it?
Because you've got
So,
a
can
cheated
you see that
shed
red one?
roof, haven't you? That red one. Is that the one you built?
So the red one's the one I built. So I don't know whether you can really see that. Bit hard because
Yeah.
I'm looking at the teeny tiny screen in the corner of my phone. The green one's a big kind of two-seater, whereas the red one is a little. I went on a course in the Lake District with these fantastic fellas. They're called Orca Canoe Adventures. If anybody wants to do it, and you go and you spend a long weekend building a boat, and you can go as a family or a group of mates. You can go on your own, and you hang out in their little workshop for a weekend, and you go home with your boat on your roof. What's not to love?
Amazing. You don't actually row your boat home.
No, sadly not. I think it might take a little while. But yeah,
It's a month journey
boats,
back.
sheds, living my dream life. Why have I got an office job? Who knows?
Well, we can. I absolutely think you're in your element there, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean,
Is that
you've
your
given me a
play
good legit.
space? I know.
Oh my word, I love it. It makes me super duper happy. So, and you
Oh,
gave me a
it's-
legitimate excuse to spend an hour in here playing this morning. So
We
thank you
could
very
do
much.
that every week, Jane. Seriously, let's make this
I
so.
know.
Should we do
It's
it?
brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's cook up and get some sponsorship in, and basically have you in your shed, Claire wherever she's
Yeah.
on tour, and whoever else wants to join
Yeah.
us. Yeah,
I'm down with that. And if Claire
Let's
wants,
make
if
it
Claire wants
so.
to come and have a paddle in the boat, she can come over to sunny Bradford and have a paddle in the boat.
what do you think, Claire?
I'm so up for that, Jane. Please teach me, because I've wanted to get into a kayak or canoe or whatever for I don't know, for the last 5 years or so. But I'm a bit scared. And I saw that at Army Leisure Centre, you can go and you can get lessons and they dunk you underwater and things.
Yeah.
But to have an actual friend with a boat
Yeah.
and to guide me through it would be
Well, Claire,
fantastic.
I'll be honest. I don't know what I'm doing, but we can go and fall in together.
Yes. Yeah, as long as I've got someone to fall in with, that's fine.
All right. Yeah, well, we can sort that out. We can sort out a nice paddle together.
Amazing. Now it's 11 o'clock. It's 11:01 in fact. And so has anybody got anything they want to plug in this last couple of minutes? Rachel, I know you're busy doing wonderful things for people down in the Black Country. Is there anything you want to let us know about that we need to share with the world?
I don't think so, actually. Not at the moment. We're kind of regrouping with a new plan of attack, and actually, there is something. Part of our regrouping and is building up a really lovely offer of activities for schools and care homes and multi-generational events that we can put on ourselves in the community. And we work with people all over the country. So if anyone knows anyone who does really lovely workshops around anything, we like things to be exciting and innovative, and we do anything from beatboxing to bubble magic to yoga to parkour. So if you know anyone who would like to be part of the team on a self-employed basis, hit me up and put people in touch with me. That'd be awesome.
Amazing. And do you hula hoop? Did I dream that?
Yeah, I'm starting my own hula hoop class because I started in my own business as a hula hoop instructor years ago, and hula hooping's how I play. Hula hooping and roller skating bring me joy, a lot of joy. And I think to get myself out of this COVID lockdown funk, I'm doing an adult hula hooping class.
Amazing, because I cannot hula hoop. I instigate hula hooping for everybody else, and then I'm like, I can't do it.
You need a big hoop. It's got to be an adult size hoop, at least as big as up to your belly button.
Okay, that's probably where I've been going wrong. I've been using like the 6-year-old's hula hoop and wondering why it gets stuck on my hips.
It's never going to work. You need a really big hoop for adults.
And then what? What else do I need? Do I need to have good hip movements?
No, you don't need anything. It's really inclusive. Anyone can do it. If you can't do it, it's because you've got the wrong size hoop. You just need music, space, a hula hoop, and someone to play with. But you can do it on your own if you want, but it's always better with more of you.
Well, if you can tag me next time you've got one of your online classes coming up. Are they on? They're online, aren't they?
It's going to be in person.
Okay. We'll have to come down to the Black Country then. How's that for a road trip, Claire?
Yeah, I'm up for that. We made hula hoops once in the library. Yeah, you just need like some blue tubing, and then you measure it. And I can't quite remember what you measure. I think it's your arm span or something like that.
I've never done it that way. It depends really what you're going to use it for. But if it's for an adult, you want the hoop to be at least 40 inches diameter.
It took a while, but eventually I managed to keep it up. But you keep trying and you get there, and it's fantastic.
That's true.
Really good exercise.
Well, I'm sad that we have to draw this to a close, Claire. I don't want it to end. But we do have a 1:30 lunchtime meeting with Laura Walsh and Lisa Beaumont. Laura's head of place services at Great Ormond Street Hospital, and Lisa is in a similar position at the Leeds Children's Hospital, and they're going to talk about the last year, what play is both inside the hospital and why it's really super important that play is embedded, not just in sort of the children's experiences, but across the entire hospital as culture change, and sustainability is all part of that as well. So they're absolutely, I give them the job of running the country, these two. And us obviously as well, but they would totally rock. And so that's at 1:30. There's still spaces, because whoever says that you can sell out a Zoom event is a big fat liar, because you can have gazillions of people coming. There's no such thing as tickets are sold out on a Zoom event, right? So tell everybody about it. I'll send links again, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself today.
Thank you, Emma. As always, you've got a fantastic guests on. I'm trying to get this cat into the kayak, but he hates me.
No, that's a sign that he's interested. Look, he stopped then for a second.
He keeps going around me.
You tend to be indifferent to him. That's how it works with cats. Just look disinterested in him, like you're not interested at all.
True.
Just ignore him, in fact. Look the other way.
Okay.
Give our love to Ed and wish him well in his election campaign, because he's campaigning to be Green Councillor, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just been telling me. Yeah, Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. Big kisses. Have a lovely day. Go out and play. Love to play hashtag. Was it hashtag love to play 2021?
Bye. Thank you.